This was a gimmick. It's a classic Washington example of how you handle a problem, which is don't solve the problem, try to patchwork something that will get you through the next election. And that's why I said very early on, this is a bad idea. I don't care how it polls. I am going to make sure that we defeat it.
When he ran for president in 2008, Barack Obama would urge his audiences to get fired up. So what was Barack Obama so fired up about when he was campaigning in Bend, Oregon on May 12, 2008? Here's a hint. It was something proposed again 14 years later by the man who would one day be his running mate and his vice president, and one day be the president. In this episode of C-SPAN's The Weekly, we revisit from the 2008 presidential campaign a proposal that's suddenly in the news again, gas tax holiday. First, let's set the scene. Joe Biden was not yet Barack Obama's vice presidential running mate when Obama dismissed the idea of a gas tax holiday. But Joe Biden was president on June 22, 2022, when he said this.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to talk to you about the actions I'm announcing to bring down gas prices. First, today I'm calling on Congress to suspend the federal gas tax for the next 90 days through the busy summer season, busy travel season. Here's what that means. Every time you go to the gas station to fill your tank, the federal government charges an 18-cent tax per gallon of gas that you purchase and a 24-cent tax per gallon of diesel you purchase. It's a tax that's been around for 90 years. It's important because we use it for the Highway Trust Fund to keep our highways going. But what I'm proposing is suspending the federal gas tax without affecting the Highway Trust Fund.
A gas tax holiday. Where have we heard that before? Well, let's rewind the tape. April 15th, 2008. John McCain is running for president. He's speaking at Carnegie Mellon University in Pittsburgh. The Pennsylvania primary is a week away. Senator McCain, who had already clinched the Republican nomination by this point, is giving a major economic speech. He talks gas prices.
The grave problems in the housing market have been viral, spreading out to affect the credit and buying power of Americans, even as the price of oil and gas is rising as never before. There are larger problems underlying the price of oil, all of which I'll address in my energy plan. But in the short term, there are crucial measures we can take. I propose that the federal government suspend all taxes on gasoline now paid by the American people from Memorial Day to Labor Day of this year. The effect will be an immediate economic stimulus, taking a few dollars off the price of a tank of gas every time a family, a farmer, or trucker stops to fill up.
On the campaign trail, John McCain keeps talking about the gas tax holiday.
You know, some economists don't think much of my gas tax holiday, but the American people like it, and so do small business owners. Sure. Just ask Andrew Emmett, who runs an airtight insulation in Michigan. He's had to stop hiring new workers because of the cost of fuel for his trucks. We need to keep the IRS from taking more of your income and making life harder for small businesses. If you believe you should pay more taxes, I'm the wrong candidate for you. Senator Obama is your man.
That was July 7th, 2008, in Denver. By then, boy, had he sparked a hot debate among Democrats. Since Senator McCain mentioned Barack Obama, let's start with the former Illinois senator. May 2nd, 2008, campaigning in North Carolina.
I know that we're having a debate right now about the gas tax holiday. I know how brutal this is on folks right now. And I know they need relief, which is why I've offered a middle-class tax cut for every American, $1,000 for working families, so that they can deal not only with rising gas prices, but rising health care costs and rising grocery costs. But for us to suggest that 30 cents a day for 3 months is real relief, that's a real energy policy, means that we are not tackling the problem that has to be tackled. We are offering gimmicks, when we're offering the same thing that John McCain's offering on the cheap, that means we're not presenting a truthful response to the challenges that we face in America. We can do better than that this time. We've got to take advantage. America's looking for the truth. That's why I'm running for president of the United States of America. I don't want to look back 20 years from now and see that somebody's offered a gas tax holiday and gas is $10 a gallon.
Running against Barack Obama in the Democratic primary and with opposing thoughts on the gas tax holiday, Hillary Clinton. Here's Senator Clinton, May 12, 2008, in New York City.
This has become controversial in this campaign, but let me tell you why I believe that we should, if we pay for it, have a gas tax holiday. Senator Obama doesn't want to do it. He says it's a bad idea. Senator McCain's all for doing it. He doesn't want to pay for it. And that would just increase the deficit or take money out of the Highway Trust Fund, neither of which is acceptable. But you see, I think it's important that we actually tell people who are facing $4 a gallon gas right now, who will probably have $5 a gallon gas by July, who are really hurting. You know, it's one thing if it's not a big deal to you, and here in New York, we're lucky. You know, you can take public transportation, you can get easily around, but come with me to, you know, West Virginia, or come with me to Kentucky, or Southern Oregon. I mean, there are just lots of places in America where you've got to drive. We've not been smart about providing public transportation. And you got to commute to work, maybe 60 miles one way. You've got to get into town. You've got to be able to make a living as an independent trucker. We've got to figure out some immediate relief.
And back to Barack Obama, May 5th, 2008, Indianapolis.
Because right now the debates we have are not honest. Look, let's talk about this gas tax holiday that Senator Clinton has been talking about. Everybody here knows how much of a burden high gas prices are placing on you. You feel it every time you fill up the tank. You feel it every time you drive to work. So we know how tough it is for families. They need relief. But when you hear Senator Clinton and John McCain both offering the same solution, a gas tax holiday that will offer you pennies for 90 days, but probably won't deliver those pennies, because every time we have tried this, what ends up happening is the oil companies end up just jacking up their prices by the same amount as the tax is lowered. Then you know that it's a gimmick. You know you are being tricked. You know politicians are saying something just to get through the next election instead of actually solving the problem. And we've had enough of that.
That same day, Hillary Clinton was also campaigning in Indiana.
And let's give you a holiday from the gas taxes this summer so you can keep some of your own money instead of having it go to pay these higher costs. Now, I want the oil companies to pay it out of their record profits. I think it's time we start taking on the oil companies. I know what a tough fight this is. I've already voted against them. In the 2005 Dick Cheney energy bill, I voted against them. My opponent voted for them, for more tax breaks. Now my opponent doesn't want us to have a gas tax holiday. Senator McCain is perfectly happy to have the holiday, but he doesn't want to pay for it, which would raise the deficit and take money out of the Highway Trust Fund. What I have proposed is let the oil companies pay it for the summer. They've got these record profits. It's time we start making them part of the solution instead of a continuing problem for our economy, for our drivers, for our consumers.
Not just rhetoric and speeches, Barack Obama even produced TV ads against Hillary Clinton and the gas tax holiday. Here's one that ran just before the May 2008 Indiana primary.
Another negative ad from Hillary Clinton. But here's what she's not saying. USA Today calls her 3-month gas tax holiday political pandering. It's an election year gimmick, saving Hoosiers just pennies a day. Barack Obama's plan? Take on price gouging by oil companies. Tax their windfall profits. Invest in alternative energy. Give working families a permanent $1,000 tax cut to help with rising costs. That's change we can believe in.
I'm Barack Obama, and I approve this message.
John McCain, Barack Obama, and Hillary Clinton were all running to replace George W. Bush. So what did President Bush think of the gas tax holiday? He had this exchange with Jim Axelrod of CBS News during an April 29, 2008 White House press conference.
I just want to follow up on the idea of the gas tax moratorium, if I may, because you're indicating that perhaps you'd be open to it. You mentioned in your opening remarks that...
I'm open to any ideas, and we'll analyze everything that comes our way, but go ahead.
Well, we're talking about perhaps the most immediate relief to people who are buying gasoline every day, because it would be an 18.4 cents a gallon tax cut. Senator Clinton and Senator McCain are in favor of it. Senator Obama is not. But yeah. Americans are hearing about this every day. So could you flesh out perhaps some of your thinking about why this would be a good idea or not, why you would agree with Senator McCain or Senator Obama?
I appreciate you trying to drag me in the 08 race. And this is the first attempt to do so, and I can understand why you would want to do that. I will tell you that, first of all, the American people got to understand that here in the White House, we are concerned about high gasoline prices. We're concerned about high food prices. We're concerned about people staying in their homes, and we're concerned about student loans, just like I described. And Congress can, be helpful. Congress, they can show leadership by dealing with these issues. And we'll consider interesting ideas. But, Jim, what I'm not going to do is jump right in the middle of a presidential campaign. We'll let the candidates argue out their ideas. I just told you I'll consider the ideas. If it's a good idea, we embrace it. If not, we're analyzing the different ideas coming forward.
President Bush's press secretary, Dana Perino, had a similar answer for Bret Baier of Fox News.
Dana, you said you were going to weigh in on Senator McCain's proposal today on this gas tax holiday. You do weigh in from this podium on a number of proposals. When do you think you might weigh in from the White House on this?
On a gas tax holiday? I don't know if we would.
If you would?
I don't even know if we would.
So whether it's a good idea or not a good idea, we're not going to hear from this White House?
I think that Senator McCain can make his case, and he's our nominee. We're very excited about it. And I think that getting the White House involved every day in the day-to-day 08 election is not the best use of our time, and certainly not good for the candidates.
What about reaction in Congress? Barack Obama's fellow Democratic senator from Illinois, Dick Durbin, also was not impressed with the gas tax holiday proposal, as he said on the Senate floor April 29, 2008.
Now, some people have suggested a gas tax holiday. Stop collecting the federal gas tax. I'll tell you in the first instance, if American consumers are bought off with that alone, they ought to take a second look. If there is a 3-month gas tax holiday, as has been proposed, it will mean savings to consumers on average of about $25 to $30. $25 to $30 for the entire summer. Think about what you're paying for a tank of gas. And if you take the federal gas tax off, then the money's not going in the federal trust fund to build the highways to reduce the congestion so you don't sit in traffic burning gasoline and not getting to your destination. It's not a very good trade-off.
Also underwhelmed, Nancy Pelosi. On April 24, 2008, she was, like she is now, Democratic House Speaker. At a news conference that day, she got a question about the gas tax holiday.
Madam Speaker, you mentioned that the John McCain gas tax holiday might not actually trickle down to consumers, but given that the federal tax is essentially assessed at the pump, can you elaborate on your thought there?
Well, when this has happened before, it has not accrued to the benefit of the consumer because it doesn't have to be passed on to the consumer. This can be absorbed by the supplier. And that's really what the big difference is between adding supply, which not filling the SPRO would do, to reduce the price of oil.
And now, a gas tax holiday bonus clip. A quick recap. In this podcast, we've heard from presidential candidates in the past, and we've heard from a president in the present, which leaves one last bit of gas tax holiday business. A possible presidential candidate in the future, like in 2024. For that, we hear from his January 11th, 2022 State of the State address, Florida Republican Governor Ron DeSantis.
Inflation is an invisible tax on Floridians. It represents a pay cut for individuals and for families alike. And one of the ways families have felt the pinch has been in significantly higher gas prices. To help alleviate this burden for Florida families, I'm proposing a $1 billion gas tax holiday to help reduce prices at the pump. If Washington, D.C. won't change course, then we have a responsibility to step up on behalf of our Floridians.
That's it for this episode of C-SPAN's The Weekly. A reminder, you can do your own searches in the C-SPAN video library. Just go to cspan.org and use the search bar on top. Find more discussion about gas tax holidays, or Social Security payroll tax holidays, or if you're Jewish, the high holidays. Thanks for listening, and happy searching.